Hi, everyone. So today we're going to be talking about something that has been highly requested and one of the biggest time sucks for most small business, which is data entry. Data entry, no matter what size business you currently operate or work in, or how high you are up within that business, chances are you've done your fair share of data entry. And it's monotonous, it's pretty annoying, and it can really bog you down, cause some pretty significant burnout, and even bottleneck the entire process of your business. So today what I wanted to do is I wanted to make a quick video to showcase two common methods of automated data entry. One using just a very quick two-way sync, and one offering something that's a little bit more unique that you may need to input within your business. But what you need to do before you start this is first identify A, where you're generating your data from, and B, where do you want it to go, right? So most cases of data entry involve someone taking data they're gathering from some type of spreadsheet or something that someone's sending them or whatever it may be, and you're taking that information and you're uploading it to a system that the business currently uses, right? A lot of times this is either a CRM or an email marketing program, something along those lines, right? Because a lot of times that data entry is you just copying information from one place to another. And then sometimes you're even deleting the original source of that information because you already have it in this other place. So what we're going to do is we're going to be building a very common two-way sync. And this can apply to basically any CRM or any email marketing platform that you want to use. So let's just pretend that we have a spreadsheet on Google Sheets that currently we are trying to add to our MailChimp, right? Well, what may be a little bit tough, right, is if we already have an existing spreadsheet, I would recommend going directly to your MailChimp or to your CRM, taking that spreadsheet, downloading it as a CSV file, and uploading it to that platform. A lot of times that's going to be a lot quicker than anything, but the thing that we're going to be building is what happens after that happens, right? Maybe instead of worrying about having your employees disrupt their current processes or disrupt your current processes to entering stuff within a Google Sheet or entering stuff within an Excel, to go ahead and enter that same data within a different process. Or maybe you want to even send it to two different places, right? So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building a Zap that syncs data that's inputted within Google Sheets to MailChimp and to a CRM of our choice. Let's just say HubSpot. If you're using HubSpot and MailChimp, I'd pick one, but let's just use that as an example. So first and foremost, MailChimp is definitely within Zapier, and so is HubSpot. So that's our first step, right? And what we want to do, it's getting a little crazy. What we want to do here is we want to make absolutely sure that each of these have the correct events, and they do. Make sure when you're checking out your CRM or your email marketing tool or your SMS tool that they have the event that you can add or update subscriber. Same thing with this one. You can create a contact, but you want the update a contact right here. And you can even use finding steps as well, and we'll get to that. But let's try to keep this as brief as possible. So first things first, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to add a new or updated spreadsheet row. So in general, you want to make sure that you know exactly what spreadsheet you are using, because it's going to ask you what specific spreadsheet that you are going to be using as a method of sending that data. When you have that, that's great. So you're just going to choose your account, link your account here, and then go right to add account to continue, and then you're going to select the spreadsheet you're going to use, and then you're going to test it, right? That's all you do. As soon as you have that information, as soon as you test it, you're going to have the information that you're going to need to pass over. Chances are this could be a first name, last name, email, phone number, address, custom fields if you need them, whatever it may be. You're going to have all of that data within data points, and it's going to occur and trigger every single time there's a newer updated spreadsheet row within that Google Sheet in that specific spreadsheet. And you can even filter, say for instance, you only want to add stuff to MailChimp and HubSpot that are specifically signed up for marketing permissions. Well, you could literally, and I would honestly recommend this, you would filter and then you would choose the marketing permissions field is true or contains yes, and then put yes right in here. And then that way anyone that says no, they're not going to get added to MailChimp or HubSpot. And that way you protect yourself from any type of spam reporting, or you're not sending to people who haven't subscribed to you, which again is a big no-no. After that, go right into MailChimp, and what you're going to want to do is there's two ways of doing this, right? I would recommend you doing update subscriber. But since there's no update subscriber, there it is, add update subscriber. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add your audience. You're going to want to add your subscriber email from that initial spot and fill all of these in. This you don't have to fill in because this should be within your linked account. And then fill all of these in, subscriber email, whatever the email is from this double opt-in, yes, update existing, yes. And then if you want to add any segmentation options, you have groups here. Actually, you should only fill out this one. This is in order to replace the existing groups, and then tags as well. And then finally, HubSpot, very similar. This one, you may actually want to personalize, like you could add them to a specific list, you can add them to a specific workflow, whatever it may be. But say you're just trying to add them to the account, what you want to do is just update contact. There it is. Oh. Connect right through there. Add the account. Same thing as MailChimp. Fill out all of those fields. I don't know why it keeps doing that. And then next thing you know, you're good to go, right? As soon as someone is added to this, depending on whether or not you have a filter here, they're then added to MailChimp and they're added to HubSpot. So chances are, if you have to specifically update contacts within MailChimp and HubSpot, it is going to take you a very long time. It's going to take you at least 10 or 20 minutes per contact. That's a huge time suck, and that is going to throw you for a loop. But something a little bit cooler, if you want to try it, is you could also create a bot that's going to do this for you. Say, for instance, you have people that are sending you spreadsheets pretty regularly, and you're like, hey, listen, I don't want to go ahead and re-upload this entire sheet to our MailChimp, or I don't want to re-upload this entire sheet anywhere, to be less than specific. What you want to do is you want to change Google Sheets out for something like Gmail, right? Just anywhere that you're getting emails. You could also use like an email inbox from Zapier, but let's just keep it simple. And you want to do a new email. But what I would recommend is that you create a label for this. So you want to create new labeled email. And within your Gmail, you want to create a label that's like spreadsheet attachments or whatever it makes sense to your particular job, right? Maybe you're the office manager. Maybe you're the bookkeeper, right? And you're trying to, anytime someone sends you all of their expenses, you're trying to upload it to QuickBooks. Let's use that as an example. New labeled email, expense reports within the label. You're going to choose that. You're going to select your account, and then you're going to select the label that it's coming in. That label is going to allow you to then filter down all of those incoming emails to only the ones that have files coming in. But the most important thing is if you are setting this up, you need to make sure that the file is a CSV format. There are ways that you can convert them to CSV. Import CSV, that's one way of doing it. But chances are you really just want to make sure that people are sending you CSVs, right? Because that's going to allow you to then go to, oh my God, I keep forgetting this. File, there we go. Sorry, I had a little brainstorm right there. And then what you're going to want to do is line items from CSV. Boom. There it is. So now what happens is they are going to send you an email with an attachment. And within line items from CSV, this CSV file right here, you need to make sure that it is from your Gmail, the has attachments data point, because that's going to allow it to extract any CSV file that's attached to that email and then process it to create line items. This is really important that if it does not have a header row, make sure that you turn this off, but you really want to make sure that it has a header row, and do not change the delimiter, because comma separated values are separated by commas. That's just the way that they're built. So now you're having attachments come in that are CSV files. This line item step is going to extract that CSV file and all of that data and turn them each into a line item, which is a specific row of data. And then what you're going to want to do is, say for instance you're using QuickBooks Online, and this is a premium app, so if you don't have the premium side, you won't be able to do this. You're going to create product and service purchase report, whatever it may be. If you're having a lot of different things coming in, you might have to add a looping step, which is not something that I want to do, but unfortunately it's something that is kind of necessary for this. So you're going to want to add looping, and event is going to be create loop from line items, and what this is going to do is it's going to allow you to loop through all of those values in order to input them into QuickBooks Online. It's a little bit more complex than I intended it to be, but that is kind of how you create the email and the basic two-way sync automated data entry Zaps. If you need a little bit more information on this email variation of it, it's something that we do include within the more advanced Zapier templates on the site. But if you have any questions, feel free to shout us out in the comments here, and don't forget to subscribe for any more Zapier templates and no-code templates that are going to help you with your business. Thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you soon.